How's it look?
The same as yesterday. We didn't do anything.
Yesterday was our day off.
Well,
We're supposed to do something, but we're waiting for the package to come, and it didn't come until,
late.
yeah, pretty late. But we're here now. Let's see if our insulation stayed up. This foil tape doesn't want to stick to the side of this polyiso.
Fine.
Sticks here though. That's fine. This will get pushed up with the headliner.
Yeah.
In fact, we probably have to trim this a little bit because I think we have to build a wooden frame. I was just thinking this the other night that we made this 14 by 14 space, but I'm feeling like the wooden frame needs to be right here.
Not over the foam, but flush to the metal.
Well, that's what we're gonna find out today.
I
Let's get
was
that.
hoping we already knew this part.
Actually, I have to make, I guess, for 2 fans, 8 pieces this big, so I can make the framing around the fan. No guard on this saw. The guard has been taken off. Professional use only. You just have to be really careful. Unplug it when we're not using it, just to be safe. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I cut the space that we need out of the, well actually this needs to be cut too, out of the foam that we installed. It turns out we, instead of just a 14 by 14 space, we needed to cut about 1.5 inches all the way around it, or maybe 1 inch, a little over 1 inch all the way around it, so that we can put up this wooden frame that we're building. So the wooden frame would fit in there like this. Which way does it go? It's gonna be a snug fit. Oh, yeah, that's good. Then we'll cut the frame around here, and then the top will drop in. We may need to add another frame on here. It's not quite thick enough. We should have bought maybe 2x2s to make this out of.
Because you still need to go through the headliner.
Right.
Or,
how far do you say the headliner hangs down? Just a little bit?
yeah.
Okay, well we have enough of this wood. We can double them up. We got a new piece of wood. Oh. Try not to destroy the fan. So I built 2 frames like this based on the size of this cover. This is the cover that goes on the inside, and I built it exactly to the outer rim of this little, I'm guessing we call this like trim piece, and this will go on the inside. This will go up on the outside of the, so this will kind of sandwich. This will go in between the foam, and then the headliner will go in, we'll cut the hole, and then this will go in sandwiching the headliner. between, so the headliner will go in between the wood and the trim piece. But three problems with this. One is this is kind of a cheap piece of wood, so it's not very straight. And the second problem, it's too thin. When we put it up there, we realized we needed to double up. So we needed to actually, instead of having these two for separate fans, we would have had to use both of them and glue them together for one fan. And then the third one is I made it too small. Instead of making it to the outer size of this, it needed to be made to the outer size of this, which is just a hair bigger. You see that trim piece slides into this slot here all the way around. So it needed to be just like a couple millimeters bigger. And the only way to kind of save this trim piece is to route out more space, which I'm not going to do. Even if I like the wood, I still have those two other problems. It being too thin, it being too small. So routing it out doesn't really make any sense. So I'm going to ditch this. Maybe we can just take it apart and reuse it for some other thing. But we got a better piece of wood. That's the right size. And then we'll remake 2 more frames. There it is. This is what it's supposed to look like, and this is what it's supposed to fit around. And then this guy will come in from the top and fit into that slot right there. Somehow we need to clear these wires to get that to fit in there. Here's the moment. First hole. So the plan is to drill all 4 corners of this frame. So then from the top I will know exactly where to tape off. And then once it's taped off, I will come down there and enlarge one of the holes. And then use that as a starting point to cut all the way around. So, here it goes. Ready?
Ready.
Oh my god. This is scary. There's the hole. First hole.
You're drilling holes in a brand new Mercedes, Dan.
Yeah. Point of no return. Are you sure you want to put the fan right here?
No cool off period.
Uh-uh. Alright, so I'm going to go up there and I'm going to tape off all the cutting space so we don't get chips.
What did you do?
That is a hole in the roof. So we finally got around to putting the hole in the roof for the fan. And it wasn't too bad. I mean, yeah, it was scary, but it cuts pretty easily. You just gotta make sure you tape. It's a really windy day, which made it a little bit scarier, but that's also helping blow some of the shavings away, but not all the shavings will blow away. And in fact, if you don't get rid of the shavings, they'll just stay up here, probably clinging onto the metal by static electricity, and it will rust. So make sure after this job the roof is thoroughly cleaned out. So that's what I'm trying to do right now before I actually put the fan in. We taped a garbage bag on the inside in all 4 corners, so the shavings, also the stuff that goes down, won't make a big mess for us to clean inside. Still got to clean, but it's not as bad. I'm putting a little bit of enamel paint on the raw edges that we just cut to trying to protect it from rust. So also trying to be careful to not paint myself. We don't really have a small enough brush for this. I'm using a piece of paper towel. Okay, so we're close to dropping that fan in. I got all the holes drilled for the screws that fasten the fan to the roof. But before we can do that, I've temporarily put this headliner back into place. This is the first long section. This is twice as long as the other ones. So we're gonna hold it in place, and I'm gonna go up there. You see the hole? There's a hole. That's the hole for the fan. Marlene's gonna hold it up while I look down from the top so I know where to cut a hole in the headliner for the fan. Here from the top, you're looking down at the headliner. I'm gonna trace that outline so I know exactly how big a hole I need to cut. Then we should be able to fit it. Okay. So we traced the outline of that hole. This is the outline where the foam goes to the edge, and then this border, 1.5 inch border, is where the wood is going to be. So we have to cut just in between that. So hopefully when we put the headliner back up, this hole will be in the right place. Now I'm going to apply, I think, 2 layers of butyl tape, because this little ridge right here sits a little higher. I just want to make sure that it's well protected. And then we should be able to screw the fan down through the metal right into the wood. Butyl tape is basically like bubble gum material. I'm pretty sure if you look in the ingredients of your Big League Chew, you'll find butyl as a ingredient. I don't know, maybe still, I don't know. Maybe not anymore. Definitely is this same texture. Maybe this butyl tape is not safe for consumption, but it'll seal up really well, and that's why it's used. It's used for basically a sealant. And the flange on this fan is decently wide. I want to make sure I cover enough area. If you buy the install kit for your Fantastic fan, it'll come with a strip of butyl tape, but it comes with just enough for you to use. So if you're doing your own install, I would recommend just getting a roll of tape, butyl tape. So that way you're guaranteed to have enough, especially if you have to layer up double like I'm doing. You don't have to, I just choose to, because it will, squeeze out and flatten out and seal up the space. To drill these 16 holes, I made the fit of this fan pretty tight, and I just dropped the fan in temporarily, drill the holes through the locations on the flange, so that when I finally fit this back on, I won't have to see it. I'll know that it's directly through here because the tight fit. Okay, here it comes. Make sure it's seated nicely on the tape. We're gonna caulk over this too, so. Marlene, can you push up against the wood? So I make sure it screws it. Push it up against the passenger side rear corner right now, okay? Okay, now do the front driver's side corner. Alright, there's the fan. You can see spinning because I just tested it with a jerry-rigged electrical connection. Got the wire coming in here, coming out through underneath the foam, down here to where the battery's going to be. But for now, I've just got it temporarily wired in to my two 6-volts. I've got the two 6-volts jumped right now as a serial connection to make a 12-volt. I got the fan connected directly into the battery's terminals just to see if it works. And as you can see, it works like a charm. Opens and closes. Open. That's right now, second year out, I think. Yeah. Make sure it's going the right way. And if we want to blow air in, we should be able to do it. Alright, now it's blowing air in. This is the part that goes on the inside that closes up the space, so it makes it look nice when you look up at the ceiling. This is like some kind of resin plastic. First I try to cut it with the jigsaw, which cuts it fine, except the blade moves so fast it melts the plastic, so as you cut it, it welds itself back together behind you. So that didn't really work. So then I try using these wire cutters. These worked, but it was kind of slow going. So now these snips turns out to be the perfect tool for this. Just try not to cut your finger off. This whole ceiling installation process contains a lot of situations where you might cut your finger off. Do it at your own risk.
Maybe safety glasses and shoes are a good idea.
Yeah, if I wore shoes, how could I hold it with my toes while I'm cutting? Safety glasses probably a good idea. Don't do what I'm doing. Wear shoes and wear glasses. Alright, I'm going to file the edges down so it goes in easy. I always put in. This should be the same size, but somehow it goes in easier one way. Oh, nice! Look at that. Nice and flush fit.
Yay!
Alright, we'll screw in the 4 corners and then we're done! Where are the screws? Yeah, they are. Where's that screwdriver?
I think that's cleaning up and put it away.
Whew. That was a lot harder than I thought. But it looks nice. Huh?
We're ready for a hot day. Whatever shows up.
Yeah. Well, we gotta put our battery and stuff in, but put the light back in here. That works, so that's good. This light is still being powered by the by the van battery. But these lights have been rewired, so they're going to be mounted on a switch. Looks pretty good. Well, that's one fan down, but we did cut a hole, our first hole in the van, and I feel pretty good about it. Look at that. Looks super profesh. We'll put the headliner back in too. And that turned out pretty good to be able to reuse the headliner. Of course, we've got more pieces to put in. But we'll do that, like I said earlier on the last episode. We'll hopefully do that this week, and by the end of the week, we should have the whole thing back together. Don't know when we're gonna get the other fan. It's en route, but we don't have a tracking number, so we'll wait and see about that. But now that we got one fan in, I feel pretty confident we'll be able to do the other fan fairly easily. So the next big challenge will be the windows. We do have those windows. We do have what we need to get them in place. It's just a matter of prioritizing, deciding when the time is to do it. And it will be in the next day or two. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you for following this build. We are moving right along, pretty good progress. Being that it's only the second week, we've got this front of the van. Like if you don't look back here, you just look from here and up, it's pretty much done. But of course, the hard work is going to be back here. But we're looking forward to it. So if you have any questions about what we're doing, the build, anything related to the van, how we're liking the van, leave them in the comments below. Give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate it. Helps us a lot. And if you're not subscribed and you want to follow along with our build, we'll be putting up pretty much videos every day during this build process. So go ahead and click that subscribe button below. And I want to thank all of you who support us on Patreon. I want to thank all of you who are subscribed to the channel and supporting us by watching these videos. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.